After 18 years, this is my final Fox News Sunday. It is the last time, and I say this with real sadness, we will meet like this. But after 18 years, I have decided to leave Fox. I want to try something new, to go beyond politics to all the things I'm interested in. I'm ready for a new adventure, and I hope you'll check it out.
So that was Chris Wallace back in the middle of December of last year, announcing that he'd be leaving Fox News after being an anchor there for about 350 years. And he made it seem as if the main reason was wanting to try something new. He wanted to get into like Real Housewives live reactions or something, I don't know. But it turns out now he is revealing, with a couple months of a buffer after he's moved on from Fox, that it actually wasn't about him, it was about them. He says that life became unsustainable there as he starts his new streaming show. Bear in mind, of course, as he slams Fox News, a lot of this is to promote his new CNN streaming show, which we'll get into. But he said that it was unsustainable, increasingly so after the 2020 election, saying, I'm fine with opinion, conservative opinion, liberal opinion, but when people start to question the truth, who won the 2020 election, was January 6th an insurrection, I found that unsustainable. I spent a lot of 2021 looking to see if there was a different place for me to do my job. He says after Donald Trump lost, a period when the channel ended its 7 p.m. newscast, fired the political editor who helped project a Trump loss in Arizona on election night, which was totally true and the right call to make, and promoted hosts like Mr. Carlson, Tucker, who downplayed the January 6th riot. He confirmed reports that he was also so alarmed by Mr. Carlson's documentary Patriot Purge that he complained directly to Fox News management. And although he doesn't go in depth into how that was received and what changes were made based on his complaints, I think we can sum it up as a big old goose egg. They didn't care. It's Chris Wallace versus Tucker Carlson. Who's bringing in the money for Fox News? The issue I have, Francesca, is that he is right to point out all of these issues, and Fox has gotten noticeably worse even since that last election. But it's not like they had a strong commitment to the truth 15 years ago. It's not like they weren't warmongers and xenophobes and homophobic and all that stuff. So what do you think about his explanation for why he left just a few months ago? He left.
I mean, I don't know. I think that he just had a really high tolerance for BS, and maybe enjoyed the fact that he felt smarter than his coworkers. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Like, I do think there is a demonstrable difference between people like Bill O'Reilly and Tucker Carlson. I think Bill O'Reilly did speak more in dog whistle, and Tucker Carlson just is a walking, whistle. And they've swallowed it, and they're just like, it's like the when you swallow a squeak toy or whatever. Anyway, the point is, they're like squeaker.
It's happened to me. I get it. I remember.
Yeah, when you swallow a squeak toy, is that just me? But yeah, but there's another part in, I think, his statement of why he left, which is, I guess it took me a while to learn. Like, yeah, buddy, I think your eyes weren't open. I think you knew kind of what was going on, but yeah, you woke up and people were just floating alternate facts like Trump actually won the election. And I do think it is scary to say that this person who reported accurately on those election results was summarily fired. Yeah. And Chris Wallace can have his pick of the litter. He can go wherever he wants. Also, he did a terrible job moderating that presidential debate. So there's also that.
I remember it being somewhat mixed. I think he yielded a lot to them, but look, Chris Wallace is 40% of the times Fox News isn't the worst thing in the universe. Yeah. It's like you very rarely get a Ducey comment that's okay, maybe a Geraldo, but Chris Wallace, he would ask somewhat tough questions. But bearing in mind, it's not that he was ever our ally. He was just a less committed to being horrible Republican. He was an actual Republican, which meant he held a lot of policy views that we would find abhorrent, a lot of personal views that we'd probably find equally abhorrent. But it wasn't the Tucker Carlson model. It wasn't the Glenn Beck model or anything like that.
Well, but and I also think that he wasn't an opinion show. Like, sure, every question, I mean, I don't believe there can be such thing as objectivity in news, but arguably Chris Wallace's show was much more about asking straight questions and sort of like doing some real reporting. And that's the thing, and it goes with liberal media too, right? Or so-called liberal media, CNN or MSNBC, where there is no disclaimer. Hey, now we've started the opinion portion of our evening, right? There is no media savvy. So the lines between, oh, this is the NBC that is reporting the news, and this is the NBC that is crafting a very elaborate argument about one thing in particular, and I don't know, like, and it's mostly just opinion and panel shows of opinion people. Like,
sure.
It's difficult, and I think that Wallace was like the last vestige of actual straight reporting, and that honestly, as we all know, it gets fewer views, fewer clicks. It's not confirmation bias, and people don't want to watch that stuff. They just want to be told that their QAnon conspiracies are correct.
But they're beautiful and they smell great and their hair is very soft. That's what they want to be told. So he was criticized for the ratings of his show over 18 years. Look, over 18 years, the fact that he never did better, I guess, is an indictment of him, but it also could be an indictment of the Fox News audience. Maybe the right wing just isn't interested in that stuff. And Fox has moved on, not only from Chris Wallace, but they now regularly will have their straight news programs take clips from last night's Tucker Carlson and discuss them. Jesus. Just like, hey, wasn't that a great point that Tucker made? But that's what his show is. So anyway, Chris Wallace is now doing a CNN Plus series. It's not gonna be for me or for Franny or anything. And I think it's kind of funny that you can so smoothly transition from Fox over to CNN, but whatever. I think it's nice to have a little bit of a look into what seemingly somewhat sane Republicans think about Fox News' course.
Yeah,
Any final thoughts?
That's what this show does. Tucker Carlson clips from the night before. They don't need to do that.
Exactly. Well, and we don't just agree with him. We try to provide a little bit of context.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.